By the end of this episode, you're going to know how to cook 4 of my top vegetable recipes on fire. Because my name is Michael, I'm the chef camper, and now you can be one too. Allons-y! This is episode 7 of my 8-part camper van cooking school, teaching you what I think are all the basics that you need to know in order to pull off a great meal if you're out and about. Now this episode is all about vegetables. Now I know what you're thinking, how does the chef that goes on about meat and fish possibly stand there and tell me that vegetables are exciting? Well, let me tell you something, they are. They pop up in little pockets of joy around the world at different seasons, at different times. They need love to be able to let them grow, and once they're grown and they're picked by people that we love, we then have to, we have to prepare them in different ways, and there's loads of variety. And even something as simple as a carrot, you can have loads of different carrots, and actually carrots never used to be orange. That's a Dutch thing. Anyway, vegetables are something that I think we can all get behind. And the other thing we have to consider here is that we want to cook meals that our guests love and enjoy. And sometimes you might have guests who don't enjoy eating meat or fish or anything like that. And, as a chef, what I've learned, it's my job to put out a plate of food that the end user really wants to eat and enjoy. And there's no greater satisfaction for me than having somebody tell me they've enjoyed the food I've cooked for them. And it's about having pride in your work, so you have to do your best to put out the food that they want to eat. Now, you can just invite people that eat everything, which is what I usually do. But sometimes life doesn't work like that. Sometimes there's somebody you meet, who has a different dietary requirement. It's not always by choice. And why should they not enjoy their food because of you not wanting to cook it? We want to cook food that people like. So that's that. So how do I make vegetables super tasty? Well, I like them to be either the star of the show or the star side, because I think sometimes sides are overlooked when we cook meals. And I'm guilty of this, where I'll cook a nice piece of meat or a nice piece of fish and I'll just lob some veg on the side. But actually, if we take a little bit more time and consideration, we can really pimp out our veg and make them delicious, and we can make them the absolute star of the show. So how do I do that? Well, one of the key things I like to adopt is not adding water to a vegetable if I can absolutely avoid it. And what I mean by that is I don't like to dilute it. So part-boiling carrots, for example, or boiling or steaming green veg or anything like that, I like to cook them directly on the heat. And what I like to do is bring out the natural flavour. Now, vegetables either grow underground or overground. Underground, they generally take longer to cook, and you want to bring them up slowly and cook them longer. Vegetables above ground, you want to cook fast with hot heat, generally speaking. Now, the vegetables that grow underground, let's talk about, butternut squash. This is a classic example of something I cook quite a bit, where I will cook it over a fire or next to a fire, and I'll slowly break down the fibres within the butternut squash, and I'll bring out the natural sugars and make it sweeter. And what we're left with is this creamy, sweet, delicious butternut squash that hasn't been diluted with any water. Now, in this episode, I'm going to share with you what I think are 4 great, classic, but very simple and easy recipes that you could try to either be the star of your meal or to be a star side. And I've also got like a little dessert as part of that as well. So it's now time to do our mise en place. Allons-y. So my beetroots are on, my carrots are on. I've been slowly turning the beetroots every 15 minutes. I call it the handmade rotisserie. And my carrots I've just put to one side. It's not in the really hot zone, it's in the kind of a gentle zone, and I'm just slowly roasting and rotating them. I've now started glazing my carrots with a miso glaze, which I'll put the recipe on my website, which you can find in the comments below. I'm now going to go on with the leeks, because I think what I'm going to do is time this so it's all ready at the same time, so I can just put it on a table and me and Steph can just enjoy this as a big vegetable sharing platter. So it's now time to put the leeks on, and what I want to do with the leeks is just char the outside of them, like really get them black on the outside so the inside just goes all soft and juicy. And then I'll open them up and peel back some of the outside, and then just have a little romesco sauce on the side. So I'm getting excited for this, so we need to get the leeks on. Well, welcome to the British summer, everybody. The rain looks like it's going to rear its ugly head. Not uncommon for a barbecue, I must say. Anyway, everything is now ready. So what I'm going to do is just plate it all up in one go, and then I'm going to talk about it. How's about that? Right, first up is the carrots. Miso glazed carrots. Next up we'll go for the plums. Plums black pepper, balsamic. Done. God, the rain is coming down now, folks. Oh God, we're fighting the rain. Oh, sorry folks, this isn't going to look as good as it should. But this is what you have to do. Right, I'm not going to lie. I just need to get this in. Oh, we need some nuts, don't we? Right, all my kit's getting soaked. I'm going to have to go inside, folks. Okay, that was a bit of a panic. I've now cooked all the dishes. I've taken them inside the van. I've now brought them back out the van because we've stopped raining, and I thought it'd be easier to talk to you about what we've got. What we got first, we've got the miso glazed carrots with some beautiful thyme and chopped nuts over the top. I've gone for walnuts, but just top it with some nice nuts to give it some nice texture and character. But that is just a fantastic star side in my opinion. Next up, we have got the slow roasted beetroot. Now beetroot, when you roast it over a fire, it brings out the natural sweetness of it, and it's just a delicious dish to try. I paired it up with some goat cheese because they are just best friends on the plate, and I put some walnuts on there because again they like to join the party. Some nice salad with a nice vinaigrette dressing with balsamic and red wine vinegar just drizzled over the top. That is a delicious starter, or even a main course if you padded it out a little bit, or a star side. Next up, we are over to Catalonia, where we have got some nicely charred leeks. I peeled off the char skin from the outside. I then took out the centres, and they're just juicy, they're soft, and I've just topped it with some romesco sauce and some chopped hazelnuts, tipping the hat to the sauce that goes over it. Drizzled it with some olive oil, seasoned it with some fresh salt. That is a standout dish. You could just eat this, and in fact, in Catalonia, the calcot season, they just char calcots, large spring onions over the fire and just dip it in romesco sauce, and they just live on it for ages. This is a star dish, trust me. And then finally, fruit, dessert. We've got plums that I've then charred on the barbecue over the coals. I've then I've then turned them over, added some balsamic and just a tiny bit of red wine vinegar, but mostly balsamic glaze, and then some black pepper. And then I've topped it with some mascarpone cheese, some chopped nuts, and if you had mint would be great on this. And this is just a nice little side dessert. I mean, that goes well with ice cream or anything. So here we go, 4 amazing dishes that I think that you can cook easily on a barbecue, vegetables and fruit, and those for me just make me want to tuck into it right now. So when I go in the van, I'm going to eat it. So you're not going to see me eat this week. I need to tell you though, our final episode is episode 8. There is going to be a slight lag on this because I am off to Borzine this weekend, which means I'm not going to be around. I'm going to a friend's wedding. Hello, Pippa and Harry. So our final episode is going to be due in 2 weeks. But if you're watching this in the future, we'll just click next episode and you'll find episode 8. But episode 8 is all about bringing everything together and using all the skills that we've got and then talking about what we've learned. So tune in for that. Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm the Chef Camper. Now you can be one too. Au revoir.